to the podium. Yeah, it was pretty decent. Hello, Joanna, you last speaking. Oh my gosh.
I know. She's
Glad I ain't seen you in a while, man. You listen.
All right, it is 7:10. I'd like to call to order the January 24th, 2023 Waukegan Public School Board of Education meeting. The board met in closed session under exceptions C1, C2, C4, and C21. With that, I'd like a roll call.
Mr. Riddle,
Present, yes.
Miss Callahan Wozniak, Mr. McBride,
Present.
Miss Gonzalez,
here.
Miss Hannah, President Ewing.
All right, we do have a quorum. With that, I would like us to lead. I guess item 5A is the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to have our student board member, Ms. Gutierrez, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did we do a roll call? I mean, did we get a motion?
No. But technically, we don't need one, but let's do it. Like a motion to go into open session.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Gonzalez. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay. We are in open session and we already did the pledge. President's report. I know they're getting things up on the screen. Just want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. I see a lot of our students, staff, and community members, so we appreciate that. Today is important. We are now on our 6th student board member, so that is super exciting. That's a board member every year that I've been on this board, and each student has been not only impressive, but they've grown the role. And so I want to commend board member Hannah for bringing this idea, and I want to thank the board for supporting this idea. But more importantly, I want to thank our students who show what it is to be from Waukegan and Waukegan proud. It's been really, really exciting watching them develop and grow. Our first student board member is old enough that she is now pre-med, so we're excited about Raven May and all of the other individuals that are having enormous amounts of success. So tonight I want to first, on behalf of the Waukegan Board of Education, thank Joanna Gutierrez, who has been phenomenal as a student board member in her activism and activities throughout the community, how she has really dived into the role, supporting entrepreneurship of students and collaboration between schools that we say oftentimes should not collaborate. As a board member or on the junior board, is that with Aunt Mound, as well as her board that she got put up at the school related to student entrepreneurs. So if you all will join me in her final student board member report as she stands, is just a big thank you and congratulations to Ms. Joanna Gutierrez, and thank you for her time.
Yay, all right.
Ms. Gutierrez.
Good evening, everyone. So it's been a pleasure to serve as the student board member for Waukegan District 60. I remember in January 2022 when I was so anxious to hear back from Mr. Alizakis to hear about my candidacy. I did keep up my favorite quote in mind, which is, "Success never came from a comfort zone. This helped me ease my nerves." When I heard that I won the election, I was nothing but excited. I knew that with my position, I will make sure to advocate for others, my peers, and my community. And so I did. I have gotten to meet many resourceful people and mentors along the way. Even though today is my birthday, I choose to be present on behalf of a community I love. Thank you. Sergeant Nasser. A community that feels constant pain with the issues that go on every day. Today, I find myself taking the day step by step as I remember friends that passed away years ago and didn't make it to 17. I know that there is nothing I can do to bring them back, but during my term here as student board member, I have grown my leadership skills, my mindset, and I feel like I'm growing more as a responsible person. This is my last day with the title of student board member, but that is just it, a title.
Yes.
I will continue to be a voice and I will continue to advocate for my community. This community has many amazing, talented people who deserve to be recognized.
Presentation.
There's a
Slideshow.
yeah. Okay, great. So this community deserves to be recognized, which is why I wanted to reintroduce this project that was brought up a while ago, the Memory Walk at Washington campus. This will be a space where students can be safely and turned into an actual courtyard. As you can see, the cement bench and the bricks you see there will be the aspect of the Memory Walk. Each brick will have a person's name who wants to leave a mark of their legacy behind. I know there is many staff, organizations, students, community, and alumni who would love the idea of having to be a part of this Memory Walk. This project is costly, which is why I will work to do fundraisers to reduce the price, which is for each person who would want to purchase a brick and have their name engraved will do so. So please keep in mind that there is a lot of history in Waukegan, and the Washington campus, I believe, is one of the oldest buildings, so there is a lot of history there. I believe that this is a beautiful idea to recognize not only Waukegan, but students who would have been graduating with their class. This is an opportunity to still be able to have them recognized. On that note, I wanted to tell our new student board member what I think. You are a sophomore stepping into this position. I have heard many great things about you, and we're not even in the same campus.
Yay.
Make sure your spark never fades and it only grows. Stay focused on your goals, and the only reason I don't say dreams to reach your dreams is because I believe that dreams are something you can't achieve. I know that you will have the drive to reach anything you want. You just have to keep doing great. So, no pressure. I am confident that you're the one stepping into my position, and I know that you will do so with ease. Just know that I'm always here for you if you have any questions, and I will be more glad to introduce you to the amazing people I've met along the way. Being elected as student board member has to be one of the best birthday gifts I have and will ever receive. Thank you. That is all.
Right.
So with that, we would like to, I guess I'm going to go a little bit out of order just to make it easier to follow along. We're going to do 7B, which is the appointment and swearing in of our 2023 student board members. So in the audience, we have Victor Hinojosa. Victor, so if you want to come up to the front. Actually, Victor, if you will grab that microphone, but then I want you to walk up here right in front of me. So Victor, I believe, has the distinction of being our first sophomore to ever, you do have to be a sophomore or junior to be a student board member. Second? Okay, second sophomore. Sorry, I was going to try to give you first. But what we want to do is when we swear you in is for our student board member, if you want to grab your microphone, Ms. Gutierrez, and then if you want to cut my mic so we don't get any feedback with this, and our outgoing student board member in the tradition is going to swear in our incoming student board member. So go ahead. Oh yeah, I guess we got Nick, you didn't remind me after all of that. So a motion to appoint Victor Hinojosa as our student board member for the next school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Hannah. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Yes, I am just so proud of each and every student that has taken the chance to put their name in the running for to become a student board member. When I originally did this, I wanted students to have a voice. I remember talking to students at Brookside campus and telling them that we were going to get student voices to be heard. And so after, how many has it been, Nick? Six?
Six.
Yeah,
It
it's
has
our
been
sixth.
6 students that has come and been a representative for our student body. I am so proud of each and every one of you, and I hear that those that have been here and has gone, that they're doing great things.
Yep.
And I hope that because you have served here, that has been a push for you to do greater things. So thank you. I'm thanking you all. Yes.
So I'll have just a few words after we go through the formalities. So we have a motion, a second. Roll call.
Mr. Riddle,
Yes.
Miss Kellyanne Wozniak,
Yes.
Mr. McBride,
Yes.
Miss Gonzalez,
Yes.
Miss Hannah,
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes. Welcome. And now, as we celebrate, we're also going to have you take the oath. So if we kill my mic, and then Ms. Gutierrez, you will read or have Victor repeat after you his oath of office. Go ahead and raise your right
Okay,
hand.
yeah, go ahead and raise your right hand. Okay. I, Victor Hinojosa,
You're right.
I, Victor Hinojosa,
have been appointed to the position of student board member
being positioned to the position of student board member,
Board of Education, Community Unit School District 60,
Board of Education Community Unit School District 60,
in the city of Waukegan, Illinois,
in the city of Waukegan, Illinois,
in the county of Lake,
in the county of Lake,
do I solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully perform my duties as a student board member,
will faithfully execute my performance as a student board member,
and I will conduct myself in a professional manner.
and will conduct myself in a professional manner.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will uphold my duties as a student board member
I will uphold my duties as a student board member
by attending Board of Education meetings
by attending Board of Education meetings
and faithfully representing my fellow students to the best of my ability.
and faithfully representing the students to the best of my ability.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion
I will encourage the free expression of opinions
of my fellow board members and
Uh,
others who seek a hearing before the board.
of my fellow board members and
Others who seek
others that seek a voice,
hearing before the-
a hearing before the board,
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize
I shall recognize
that I am a non-voting member of the board.
I am a non-voting member of the board.
However,
However,
I am encouraged to lend my opinion to board discussions.
I am encouraged to lend my opinion in board discussions.
And I shall remain respectful to community members
I shall remain respectful to community members
and my fellow students,
and my fellow students,
my teachers,
my teachers,
and all district employees.
and all district employees.
And I will not attempt to use my position to exercise influence
And will not use my position to exercise influence
in matters unrelated to my duties as student board member.
unrelated to duties of student board member.
That's all.
All right.
And so what we will take care of the signing process. I know you had some remarks, so what I'm going to ask is that you do your first student board member report down from there. Victor, your speech that you prepared, and then Ms. Gutierrez will walk you through our meeting, so you guys will share a spot back here for today, and then officially at our first meeting in March, you will be up there by yourself, but you still have her till the end of the year,
You do.
you know, for mentorship. But if you want to go ahead and do your speech.
Congratulations, parents.
Want to make sure it's on, Victor.
Bottom.
There we go.
There we go. Now it works. Now it works. Hi, everyone. My name is Victor Inahosa. I am the 6th student board member of the Waukegan Public School District. I'm very excited today, and I want to thank Joanna for her very kind words. And I thank you for serving us the last year, and I hope to do the same, honestly. I do have a little speech that I've written in the last 3 hours, so yeah, it was a bit of a stress, but yeah, it's about 3 pages, so I'll try to talk quickly. So yeah, I first would like to quote Amanda Gorman, the 2017 National Youth Poet Laureate. She proclaimed beautifully from the steps of our nation's capital, "In this truth, in this faith, we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us." We did not feel prepared to be heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it, we find the power to author a new chapter. Gorman's voiced the sentence among a sea of passion and fire for the future at the Biden-Harris inauguration. I believe this one sentence, for all that came before and after, as a call to rise up. We live in an ever-changing world that conscripts us to fight for what's right, whatever that might mean to one's own conscience. My generation, for all its truths and tribulations, have taken this quote to heart. We are the new leaders. We have the eyes of the past, present, and future on our every move. We are handed a world that has fallen into disrepair, not by our own faults, but rather the ages of people that came before us. But that doesn't stop us from forging a new chapter in our common history, for we all have a part to play in this ever-changing world. And I'm here to do my part. I was chosen by the popular voice of the most important and influential members of this district, its own students, the rank and file that brings purpose to us all. I ran a campaign of revolution and change. I promised to be a voice of the people, not the top and few. I am here today to fulfill that promise. Under an Inahosa administration, we will forge a more compassionate, understanding, and progressive district. I am here to fight every single day to deliver what I was elected to do, reform. I have a commission from my constituents to fight for their issues. May that be educational reform, increasing funding for the arts and sciences, reimagining our early education systems, raising teacher or staff salaries, redesigning our school buildings, and up to the most pressing and political issues that face us as students. For I am not afraid of speaking for what's right, even if it's controversial. I also wish to state that even if I was elected to represent 14,000 students, I don't govern alone. I wish this position not only be me at the helm, I want every single student to know that starting today, this is your seat, your voice, your district. We are a force to be reckoned with, and if we are united in our course of change and revolution, we will see a true district that we will be proud of. We all need to be united if we wish to stop the anti-educational, the anti-enlightenment, the anti-progress groups that are outside our very own walls. These are the people that wish to ban and censor books, ban the right to learn about our past, ban the voices of minorities and protected classes, and wish every student to be just a mindless cog in the capitalist machine, and most importantly, to be a servant to the legion of misinformed and ruthless people. As student board member, I should do everything in my power for such forces to never step foot in our schools, no matter the cost, because as a representative of every single student, it is my duty, alongside the movement we are building starting today, to build a brighter, fairer, and just world for us all. We should look to what Charlie Chaplin said all those years ago in his first talkie feature film, The Great Dictator. He proclaimed, "Let us fight to free the world, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress can lead to all men's happiness." I, alongside the students of WPS 60, will fight every day with the words of Chaplin ingrained in our minds and hearts. Each one of us pulling their fellow students and friends up to a grander future where we could all truly see what education was meant to do, build the foundation of greater America, one built upon the fortunes, honors, and sacrifices of us all. I would like to end this speech with a quote Amanda Gorman stated only a few years ago. "In this truth, in this faith, we trust, For while we have our eyes set on the future, history has its eyes on us. We do not feel prepared to be heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it, we find the power to author a new chapter. I see this as a call to rise up, a call to fight for what's right. We, as Generation Z, have so much in store for our future. We are artisans, activists, writers, laborers, students, and unifiers. We are a force to be reckoned with, our voices rising higher than ever before, and with every victory, we secure the reins of power. We are ever closer to dream to build a fairer America. We are still ready to take the world by storm. No matter how many battle scars we may have, we are united in the cause of revolution and equality. We all will write our own chapters, all finding our own ripples in this wave of change, and with me, this electorate has opened that chapter here. But there are those who may say that we're not strong enough to open these chapters, that we're just all walk but no talk. And I would like to say to these people, no matter what you say, we rise up. No matter if you call us weak, we rise up. No matter if you silence our voices, we rise up. No matter if you clip our wings, we will rise and rise again. Our fortunes, our honors, and our destinies are built upon the work we do here. And to those that still question it, I say this: let the revolution begin. Thank you.
So my remarks as we get Victor up here on the platform is I had the awesome privilege of working with Victor when he was just an 8th grader, when we were on the committee, when he was on the committee to rename John Lewis Middle School, at the time Thomas Jefferson Middle School. And the one thing, I have a saying that I often will quote, is that everybody wants young people involved in politics until young people actually get involved in politics. And I was inspired by Victor, and even though we created what I felt was a very fair process, we had 2 student members. And Victor said, there are over 700 students in this building. We need more student voice. And he challenged that group. He came prepared along with his other student who had a position on the committee as well, and they presented names, and I was impressed with him then, and it's been amazing to see. I see his JROTC crew in the back, and so they are here supporting him because he's also a member of the JROTC. And so we look forward to working with Victor over this next year, as I'm sure we'll be working to address many things that are impacting our students. He's a fierce student advocate. He also represents Waukegan, or is a Waukegan student on the Illinois School Board of Education. Is it, what's the actual position, Mr. Hinojosa? Councilman. So he's a councilman on ISB's, is it a student advisory board? Yes. Student advisory board. So we I want to recognize now as parents. So anybody as parents, family in the audience, if you guys will please stand, we definitely want to take this time to thank you as well. We know it's not easy, and especially there are many times where late meetings, and if I'm not mistaken, you can't drive yet, Mr. Hinojosa, is that correct? So a lot of things are dependent upon you, and so we appreciate one, choosing Waukegan, and we appreciate blessing Waukegan with Victor and all of the parents that send their children to our schools. So thank you, and we appreciate you, and are excited about this new chapter and thankful for the previous chapter with Ms. Gutierrez. All right. With that, we are now at our approval of minutes. So item 8A, approval of the minutes of the open session board. Oh, I apologize. 7A, Waukegan Strong Scholarship Presentation. And we do have representatives from the foundation here today.
Hello, board, superintendent, staff, community. We are really enthusiastic to be here tonight to share our Waukegan Strong Scholarship, and just coincidentally, or maybe not, maybe by design, because he was such a
Miss
community-based-
Fabian, we have a little hard time hearing you.
Oh, better?
Yes.
Hear me now? And I guess I got rid of the teacher voice. So that actually is Isam, who was our last year's scholarship winner, but he also was one of our student board members as well. So, and Josue is going to talk about that community piece as we go along. So first, I'd like to introduce who all is with me today as far as our membership. So if we want to go to the next slide, I know we don't have a clicker. Our esteemed president, Ben Grimes. We have our vice president who's not here. Our treasurer is Mr. Luosa, who's in the audience. I am the secretary. Our executive director is hiding somewhere. Oh, there he is. Is Nick Alexakis. Charlotte Callahan Wozniak and Adriana Gonzalez are our board members who sit on the foundation. Of course, our superintendent, and then we have members at large: Lisa Meggs, Martha Padilla Ramos. There she is. I'm like, Lisa, Martha's here. Josue, who will also be presenting with me, James Henry, and Andrea Flores. So we want to go to the next slide. I just want to do a brief history of what the Waukegan Strong Scholarship is, and I cannot see from that far, so I need to see from here. So it was established in 2020 during the pandemic to help support our students, to give them an additional financial incentive during the hardship of what was the pandemic at the time. So we opened it up to all seniors that were anticipated to graduate in 2020 through Google Forms, and we've maintained that format. So we want to go to the next slide. So these are some of our previous winners. So you can see there, Isam Husani was one of them. And last year we gave out 2 $3,000 scholarships. So if we want to go to the next slide. This year we're aiming to do the same and give again 2 $3,000 scholarships. And then I'm going to pass it over to Josue to give you some more details about that scholarship.
Hello everyone, I'm Josue Pacias, a proud Waukegan Public Schools graduate. And you know, one of the reasons why I'm involved with the Waukegan Public Schools Foundation is because I believe in giving back to my community. And so I'm really proud of growing up here in Waukegan, going through the school system. And a lot of my success is because of the school system here and the teachers that supported me. And so the foundation members, including Adriana, we were thinking of ideas of giving back to our community by supporting future leaders in our community. And so the Waukegan Strong Scholarship not only looks for students that are achieving academically, but are also involved in our community as leaders. And so in the past, we've had applicants who are part of the ROTC program, who are leaders within that program and in our high school, or individuals who are involved on different city volunteer groups and making a difference downtown or in their own neighborhood. And so a big part of this scholarship is not only being a great academic student, but also someone who's making a difference in the community and who has a goal of coming back to this community and making more of a difference after college. And so today we're here to announce that the application is open. You'll be seeing more on Facebook and social media, but we want to make sure that that is a strong point. So we're looking for students who are leaders in the community.
So we can go to the next slide. So this is our timeline. Leaving this meeting, we will open up the Google form. There is a tiny URL. Students will receive an email with an invitation to apply and to click on that link. All the applications will be due by March 6th at midnight. We will announce who are our top candidates and schedule them for interviews in the week of March 15th. And then by April 10th, we'll have an announcement as to who our 2 winners are for the 2023 school year. And all of this could not be possible without support. So if we want to go to the next slide. If you want to connect with us, we do have our 60 for 60 donations going on. So we ask people to contribute to continue this scholarship. So you can get a hold of us either on Facebook or by emailing us. And let us know if you're willing to either contribute to the scholarship fund or if you would like to join us. We're always looking for more members as well. So again, thank you everybody, and please share this opportunity with any Waukegan Public Schools senior that you see out there. We would love to see a wide range of applicants. So thank you.
Definitely want to thank the foundation for instituting this scholarship, picking on Josue. He's not just a Waukegan grad, but he's a Gates Scholar. And one of the things is we both had a mentor, Mr. Chuck Gutman, who understood the need to help our students financially achieve at the next level, right? We send so many kids to school, and due to no fault of their own, unfortunately, the finances run out and they have to return. So I will also want to recognize there's a grand opening, which is coming up, our Student Resource Center, Ms. Fulton, which is opening over at the AOEC building, is because year after year, we also have scholarships that go unclaimed. So we want to make sure that our students apply, know about them, and are aware. So please help spread the word. With that, we are now at our approval of minutes. So item 8A, approval of minutes of the open session board meeting, October 11, 2022. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'd make a motion that we approve all of the minutes, A, B, C, and D, at one time. Is that okay?
You said a motion, so do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second with Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Yes, I got some, I have some corrections on October 11th, 2022 minutes. It was under action A. It was recorded as a yes for me, and that needs to be changed to a no.
Is that your only correction, Ms. Hannah? I'd amend
wait
my
a
motion.
minute. Wait 1 minute.
Okay.
And then on November 9th, 2022 minutes, under the legal reports, under report A, my name needs to be inserted in there. My name was excluded.
Is that your last correction, Ms. Hannah?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Ms. Hannah, while you
No, that's all.
Okay.
That's all.
I'll amend
I
my
took
motion
care
then
of-
with those corrections that Ms. Hannah just gave.
Awesome. As motion to approve as amended, do you withdraw or amend your motion, Ms. Wozniak?
I will amend.
Perfect. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. We are going to public comment, but two things. There is cake in the back, so while we get ready for public comment, we do want to say happy birthday to Ms. Gutierrez and her commitment. So we want to say thank you to Ms. Gutierrez, and then we also want to celebrate our swearing in of our new student board member. So I'll give like 2 minutes if anybody does want to grab a piece of cake.
October 11th. It was, all I know is that, I'm trying to think what the, yeah, because it was recorded.
No, I'm okay.
I know I voted
Sure.
no.
If you've got a lot, I mean, just give me a small piece. Oh, ice cream too.
You want whipped cream? You want Cool Whip, Mr. McBride?
You are something else.
They got a whole ROTC class up there.
I know it.
Oh, I know what it was. It
You
was
better be.
under
Listen, I'm gonna be over there tomorrow. You're going
I'm
tomorrow.
gonna take it up
this
the
here. Action aid approval.
Thursdays, Saturdays is crowded on the weekends. Well, we should get there real early because sometimes it's crowded. But Thursdays. Yeah, Thursdays I get
All right.
We should have cake every meeting.
do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No. I do
Of course not. It don't have a lot of frosting on it.
What time you gotta work? What time you
Small one. I said small. Well, that's okay.
catch me on one of those days?
0 calories.
But some of the time,
Stop it.
Friday, I go over to the
No, thank you.
Oh man, you wonderful.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I'll have a little bit. Did you want?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, no,
I'm okay. Yeah, I've had so much sugar.
Oh, gee, I don't want all that. Here, Jeff, you take this one. It's got a little frosting on it.
No, napkin.
Let me take that one. Yeah, I know.
Ready?
Frosting. I'm not frosting.
All right. So we are now at the time in our meeting for our public comment. So if I can have people grab their cake and grab a seat.
Can I have the strawberry side?
Don't look at me like that. Boy,
Nice cake. This is nice cake. That's good.
All right. When I call your name, please come to the microphone. There will be a clock that monitors remarks. We limit remarks to 3 minutes. If you need translation services will be provided for you, and you will get a total of 6 minutes. We do ask that you refrain from mentioning staff and student names in your remarks. Our first name, I'm going to call, I guess, 3 people if we get them queued. So if we just kind of create a line, we have a decent amount of names tonight. So the first name is Danella Villarreal. And then we have Clyde McLemore, Ray Vukovic, and Phil Maione. So if we can come in that order. Ms. Villarreal, whenever you start speaking, your time will begin.
I'm definitely a proud Bulldog graduate today, seeing 2 young adults stepping up. And I'm going to quote one: "Success never came from a comfort zone. Advocate for my community. Start a revolution. Courage is becoming aware of your needs and being brave enough to take action. Courage gives you the power to chase after things that are important to you. It also bolsters your self-confidence and allows you to believe in your abilities. Likewise, it's important that you realize courage is not the absence of fear, and self-care is not some superficial fix. Every small positive change we make in ourselves repays us in confidence in the future." Alice Walker. Email from Miss Placencia. Moral injury is the distressing psychological, behavioral, social, and sometimes spiritual aftermath of exposure of such events. Moral injury can occur in a response to acting or witnessing behaviors that go against an individual's values and moral beliefs. Placing a student or students in reasonable fear of harm to the students or students' personal or property, causing a substantial detrimental effect on the student or student's physical or mental health, substantially interfering with the student's or student's academic performance, substantially interfering with the student's or student's ability to participate or benefit from the services, activities, or privileges provided by a school. Bullying, as defined in this subsection, may take various forms, including without limitation, one or more of the following: harassment, threats, intimidation, stalking, physical violence, sexual harassment, sexual violence, theft, public humiliation, destruction of property, or retaliation for asserting or alleging an act of bullying. This list is not meant to be illustrative or non-exclusive. Principals shall report incidents of intimidation. 105 ILSCS 5/34-84A. Sure, you're aware of that, right? Failure to report hazing is a Class B misdemeanor. If the act which the person failed to report resulted in death or great bodily harm, it's a Class A. We have had enough. You're not keeping our best interests. You're not keeping our staff safe. You're not keeping our students safe. It is chaos, and you're hiding it, and we're here to expose it. We've had enough. for several years. And I'm not even going to get into this. But, actually, I am. Been here a long time, been doing this a long time. I've made a lot of relationships with a lot of students in the aspect of they come back and they thank me for what they've
And I
learned.
do apologize, but your 3 minutes have ended.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be back.
Thank you. Next thing, Clyde
Make sure you
McLemore.
note.
Time will begin when you start speaking, Mr. McLemore.
I'm a little tall.
Huh?
I'm a little tall.
Oh, gotcha.
Clyde McLemore, Black Lives Matter, Lake County. Good evening, board members. Tonight I'm here to speak the truth. I sit in this seat and come to these meetings for years. I listen and I evaluate. Mr. Superintendent Presencia, in the past I have supported you even when no one else would. Tonight I want to make it clear that I do not support you holding on to Angel Figueroa in HR. This man is not qualified for the job. He has discriminated against blacks in the district, allegedly sexual harassed many other teachers coming from Mexico. Rumors also has it that he's having an affair with one of his workers in the office and even fathered children with him. The entire district and board even know that Angel should have been fired a long time ago. The black community is tired of you supporting him as you continue to investigate and fire black employees, even for things such as lying, when all you guys do is lie and hide the truth. It's time for you to actually do something. It's time for you to actually do what you was hired to do and stop discrimination against blacks. And those that you don't like supporting Angel and the female Latino security leader at the high school who never show up at work. These are your personal friends, your people, but we are tired of all of y'all hurting the district, our people, and our children, most important. I like you as a person, but as a leader, I'm very disappointed in the drama that is causing in the city and our district. Clean this mess up. Clean up your act or go work somewhere else. If any of these allegations are true, and the victim or victims report to the EOC or the Department of Human Resources, it's going to lead to big lawsuits against the district. I plead with you to cut your losses.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore. Next name is Ray Vukovic, and then Phil Maione in that order. I do want to remind or request again that we refrain from mentioning staff or student names in our remarks. Whenever you start speaking, your time will begin, Mr. Vukovic.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the staff that was responsible yesterday morning, early getting out to Brookside High School, removing the gang graffiti that was spray painted on the building. So I want to thank them for that. Said this before about classroom teachers, that they're held to a level that they have to return phone calls and emails to parents. They have so many days to get grades in the grade book. And if they're not, they're called on the carpet. And things happen. You know, here I brought this up as recently as last week to the board president by email, that I'm still waiting for a Freedom of Information request that I sent in on November 29th. The topic was discussed last week at the committee meetings. There's no reason that that information isn't available today. Now, you know, ironically, you're already going to be voting later in your agenda on 3 recommendations that were made by that consulting firm. Fourth one brings up the same thing about the HR department. I hope that comes up at a future meeting because that is an issue that needs to be addressed. You voted on 4 sets of minutes. Going back to the 25th of August of last year, Illinois law says you have 30 days to approve them. I stood here a year ago and brought that to your attention. I have filed complaints with the Illinois Attorney General's office, yet you allow your staff to sit there and allow you to break the law. You're breaking the law with that. Now, one other item on your personnel report tonight. I see that you are hiring somebody as an instructional coach at a school where that person is currently the assistant principal. Now, there's a substantial pay difference there. Is that in addition to being the assistant principal, or is that a pay reduction? Now, this is the same person who, a couple of years ago, this board appointed as the interim principal of that school, only to find out a week later that she was under federal indictment. And I believe that person still is under federal indictment, so I'm not sure why you would even be considering them for any other job other than what they have. I know innocent until proven guilty, but why put them in another job? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vukovic. Mr. Phil Maione.
Ray's older than me, but I need my cheaters. I feel bad. Good evening. My name is Phil Maione, and I am a resident of Waukegan. I have been a teacher and union member in the district for the last 29 years. I have a wife who was born and raised Waukegan and has 22 years of service at Washington campus, and a son who is a sophomore at Brookside. My comments are specifically related to the high school, though I know there are issues at all levels of the district. My purview is that this district continues to expend inordinate amounts of time and energy on the 10% who, for a variety of reasons which are well documented, cannot or will not conform enough. Oh, geez, sorry. My notes got bumped. I'll just freelance this part. They cannot or will not conform to the norms that a high school requires. We do not have enough alternative placement spaces for the roughly 400 kids who disrupt the learning environment that you demand but refuse to allow building personnel to create. As a result, 90% of our kids receive a high school experience that is less than it should be. For example, we rarely have big sporting events at night with historic rivals for fear of fights. Few students go to other school events because it is deemed unsafe to do so. You as a board have many jobs, but the most important one is to create a learning environment that is safe. Safe for everyone. Students, teachers, secretaries, custodial staff, support staff, and administrators, and this is not being done. The disservice that is done to the 90% of our students at the high school that are trying to do the right thing is shameful. You can't continue to tie the hands behind the backs of building leadership and teachers and then expect them to perform cartwheels. Why do we continue to allow the roughly 400 who have repeatedly demonstrated that they are not currently ready or willing to function in an educational environment to dictate the experience for the remaining 4,000? We know who they are. They need additional supports and their own spaces to learn so that they can acquire the skills that will allow them to return to the educational environment you claim you want to create. We used to have many freshman-focused programs like Bridges, Ignition, and Freshman First, all of which no longer exist. We used to have houses, which were schools inside of the school, each with its own administrator and support staff of social workers, psychologists, and counselor to service a small pot of students as they navigated their high school lives. Those too are gone. What we have now is chaos. The number of fights at Brookside campus alone this year is frightening, and yet it seems to many that little is being done by this group to support the people in the building who have to mitigate the conflicting messages you send. On a personal note, I have been physically threatened by students more in the last 4 years, and that includes the year we were out for COVID, than in the other 25 years in the district. Any no-tolerance policy should be a two-way street. To Brandon and Adriana and all board members who had children at the high school,
Thank you, Mr.
I can
Maione.
assure you that the level of nonsense that goes on now was never allowed when you
Thank
or
you,
your
Mr.
children
Maione.
were in the building. I do have a feel-good about, can I go?
I know, because if I do it for you, you know. Thank you, Maione. Next four names are Jeff Nassers, Randy Sabecki, Yashin Phillips, and Luz Granda. Please come in that order. So first off is Jeff Nassers.
Hurry up, Drill Team. We don't have all day. All right, people want to get home. They've got families. All right. Now?
Yes, whenever you start speaking, your time begins.
All right, let's start now. All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for letting me up here. Appreciate everything. Really, the main reason, well, first of all, Happy New Year. I haven't seen some of you all in a hot minute, so Happy New Year. But I want to definitely bring up the fact that, yeah, the drill team is still out there handling business. JROTC is still around. We're still doing our thing. Obviously, we have 2 board members up there, and I'd like to point out if we've had 6 in the last 6 years, 4 out of those 6 have been JROTC cadets, so let's give it up for them one more time. So that says a lot about our program and just what we try and do as mentors, coaches, instructors, and it really is all about the kids. Secondly, I just want to say thank you. This past Saturday, the drill team had our spaghetti and taco benefit dinner, still trying to raise money and keep the kids engaged and just doing some positive things and giving back to the community. So I want to say thank you to all those that did help out. I know it's kind of the last couple of weeks were crazy just trying to get it all together. There were a lot of district employees that came through at the last minute. Carolina Fabian basically the day before said, hey, put me in, coach, as Master Sergeant Johnson likes to say. She was there all day, helped us out immensely. So yeah, there were some district cafeteria people that helped out, just everybody, drill team moms that came out and helped out. You know, we pulled off a great event. Now, lastly then, well, I might come up with something else, who knows, real quick. I got a minute and 30 seconds. So lastly, one other thing though, drill team never stops, okay? Fundraising never stops. I'm trying to keep them engaged, and these are some of the most awesome drill team people I've had experience of coaching over the last 4 years. Sergeant Fugate back there with Master Sergeant Johnson, he helps me out. So we're handling business. We're right here. Early January, we took 2nd out of 10 high schools in Ohio. We went there. 2 Saturdays ago, we went to East Aurora. We took 1st out of 10 schools there. This last Saturday was the dinner. This Saturday, the 28th, we're going to be in West Aurora, kicking butt and taking names, hopefully, and bringing back some more gold. So if you can make it to West Aurora, come on out and check them out. Lastly, then, yes, we're still fundraising. So I'm going to have a flyer out there on the internet, right? Carolina's going to help me out with that, right? Because she's awesome. We are selling discount cards. I got to put a plug in for that. We're selling discount cards, $5 a pop. Okay, discounts all around the area here, local businesses, a variety of, Jiffy Lube, clothing, food, you name it. Some of the best restaurants that you all like to go and eat at around Waukegan. I eat occasionally here, but I live in Wisconsin, so not as often. But I love the commute. I love the commute. So yes, they're $5. There'll be a flyer out with my email and phone number. Hit me up if you like one, and Sergeant Fugate as well. Again, thank you all very much, board and everybody in the community, for your support of JRTC and our awesome drill team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we get the cards at the basketball games?
So, yeah.
Yes, okay, thanks. Great.
Randy Sabecki, you're next.
Take Venmo, Cash App? No?
All right, Mr. Sabecki. And I'm sorry, 3 minutes over. Mr. Sabecki, whenever you start speaking, your time will begin, and then we have Yashin and Luz.
All right, good evening, everyone. So tonight, there's a couple things I want to talk about. First, before coming to this meeting, I came from one of our schools for the PTO meeting that they had. And it was shocking to me. We want parent involvement in our schools. There was I think a total of 5 people at that meeting. And one of the problems is, this is our district. In order to volunteer in the district to do something, 22 pages for background checks and that. We do a bigger background check on our parents and community members than we do on substitute teachers in this district. So you tell me, is that the goal, to keep the parents in that out of the schools? 22 pages. A couple years ago, it was a page and a half, because I did it every year. 22 pages. This is why we don't have parent support and do anything in our district. That needs to be looked at. There's no reason. This is thicker than a job application in this district. That definitely needs to change. 2, it'd be nice to have those at the basketball games if the community is actually allowed to go to the basketball games. those cards. And then my other thing is I want to bring up again, IDs, staff IDs. Board, you guys set the policies and the procedures for students to have their staff IDs, for teachers to have their staff IDs, but yet, again, board members do not have their IDs, and they're using other people's IDs to get through secured doors. You guys set the example. You should follow the rules that you put in place. That goes across the district. If not, maybe if you don't have it, maybe you should have to go downstairs and buy a temporary ID to get in a secure area. That's the whole point that we spend all this money on this, so we know who goes through these doors. It's all recorded by those IDs. Nobody should use someone else's ID. My kid can't go to school and use his friend's ID if he forgot it at home. That should be the same for every district staff member in this district. And same thing, another thing I want to bring up is the metal detectors. Ms. Adriana, you brought that up. You know, we spent all this money on these security systems, but yet they're not used. I was at one of the high schools the other day. Someone walked through the metal detectors, it went off. Just kept going. They didn't stop them, so what's the point of having them if we're not going to use them? Same thing when I get the email, the text message about the fight over at Brookside, and said it was just two people fighting. We spent millions, hundreds and thousands of dollars on the security systems. Why don't you guys show us the video? Because we see it, because those kids record it and they put it on social media. There was not two kids fighting. There was kids stomping on other kids' heads. It was a big brawl. So let's be transparent and tell the community the truth. Maybe if we actually allowed parents to be in our buildings and community members in our buildings and not have to do 22 pages, maybe the culture in the schools would be changed.
Thank you, Mrs. Zabecki. Ms. Phillips, whenever you start speaking, your time will begin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yashin Inchworm Phillips. I am a local film director and host, and I am here to talk about something that's very, very important. Yesterday it was reported that a man in Beach Park was arrested for kidnapping and taking 3 children to Ohio, and he had sex with one of those children. He's from Lake County, and January 5th, I had my first premiere for a short film that I did titled Lost and Found, which was to bring awareness about something that's very serious. That thing is sex trafficking. I wanted to bring awareness to it because it is real. It is happening every day. And I really want to thank the board, everybody who showed up, everyone in the community who showed up to the Genesee Theater for that film premiere. I had an amazing turnout, but there's still more work to do, and there's still more awareness that needs to be brought to this. And I will continue to do this with my work. And so with that being said, I will be having another film premiere because it went so amazingly great and everybody enjoyed it. They asked for me to do another one. So this next one will be February 5th. February 5th, and this will be at Marcus Gurney Cinema. I'm going to be having 2 shows, one at 3 p.m. and the other one will be at 5 p.m. I'm going to send the information. Hopefully I can send it through you. I really would love all of you to come out to learn a little bit more, or at least to be aware about something that is happening. I also, that at the Genesee Theater, I announced that I'm going to be moving to really pursue my career in film in LA. I'll be moving February 19th. And so with that, I also want to just say thank you to the community. Thank you to the school board. Thank you for all of the fun memories with me interviewing you, or just the support and all of the hard work that you've done throughout the years that I've been doing things in the community. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that. Tickets are $20, February 5th. That's a Sunday. There's a 3 p.m. show, 5 p.m. show. I will send links and everything to our president, but I would really love for all of you to come out and just know that sex trafficking is real. It is happening. It is real. It is happening. And thank you for your time.
And it's right here in Lake County.
Thank you, Ms.
Absolutely.
Phillips.
Thank you.
Luz Granda. And
Buenas noches.
I
Good,
just
good
want to make
evening.
sure whenever you start speaking, if we can reset the clock,
Cuando
and we're
empiece a
getting
hablar.
6 minutes for translation.
Y le
Whenever
van
you
a
start
dar,
speaking, Ms. Granda,
6
your time will
minutos para
begin.
la traducción. Su tiempo va a empezar cuando empiece a hablar.
Buenas noches. Muchas gracias por permitirme estar aquí para expresar lo que yo pienso.
Good evening. Thank you for permitting me to be here to let me express myself and what I think.
Esta noche estoy aquí para traer algunos puntos importantes.
I am here tonight to bring forth some important topics.
El primer punto para mí que es muy importante
The first topic that I think is very important
es que el día lunes 9 de enero yo mandé un email
that on Monday, January 9th, I had sent out an email
en el cual pedí una cita. Sé que no puedo decir el nombre, pero es una cita que yo pedí aquí a una persona del Lincoln Center.
of which I had requested a meeting to meet with someone. I know I cannot say the name, but I had requested a meeting with someone here at Lincoln Center.
La persona está aquí y me está escuchando.
The person is here and they are listening to me.
Ella me refirió con la secretaria y la secretaria me dio una cita para el jueves 12 de enero.
She referred me to the secretary, and the secretary gave me an appointment for Wednesday. Perdón, ¿qué fecha fue?
Jueves 12 de enero.
January 12th.
Yo vine a esa cita. Dejé cosas que tenía que hacer para estar presente en esa cita.
I came to the appointment. I left things behind that I had to do in order to attend this meeting.
Y la persona que me había dado la cita no estaba.
And the person that had given me this meeting was not here.
Y esa yo creo que es una responsabilidad y un mal ejemplo a los padres.
And I think that that is irresponsible and not a good example for the parents.
La cita era para hablar acerca de las cosas feas que están pasando en las escuelas, es acerca del bullying, de todo lo que está pasando que es horrible en las escuelas.
The meeting was to go over some of the horrible things that are going on in the school, such as bullying and other horrible things that are occurring there.
Y yo le dije a la señora antes en el comentario de la importancia que nos uniéramos. Ustedes los que están aquí, los que trabajan en las escuelas, los administradores, los padres, todos unirnos.
And I had told in the email, I had told this lady that it was important for us that we had to be united. The parents, the community, the administrators, that it was important that we are all united.
Si nosotros queremos hacer la diferencia, la única forma es que todos nos unamos. Cada quien tiene que tomar la responsabilidad de su papel que les toca.
If we all want to make a difference, it's important that we all be united and we all need to use our individual roles to do so.
Mientras yo creo que a los padres no se les involucre tanto y no se les eduque sobre lo que tienen que estar haciendo en la vida escolar de sus hijos, no va a haber cambio.
If you don't educate the parents on what they have to do, I don't think there are going to be any changes.
Así que yo le pido por favor a la señora, me está oyendo, que
And
por favor, si me va a dar una cita, por favor, que sea una cita que sea seria.
And so I am asking that person, that lady, and I know she's hearing me, if she is going to give me an appointment, to please give me a date that will be taken seriously.
También quiero resaltar y dar las gracias a los maestros de mis hijos, a los maestros de Brookside Campus, y hay una maestra que yo quiero tomar en
I do also want to highlight the teachers, my children's teachers at the Brookside campus.
También quiero tomar, resaltar el nombre de una maestra. Es la maestra de Artes de Lenguajes de John Lewis.
And I do want to highlight the teachers for language arts.
Esa maestra es muy eficiente en su trabajo. Me gusta, siempre estoy preguntándole cuando mi hijo baja de grados, maestra, ¿qué puedo hacer? ¿Qué voy a hacer? Y esa maestra siempre está apoyando.
She's very efficient in her work, and when my son's grades go up or go down, and you ask her what is it that I need to do, she is very willing to support.
Y yo creo que es muy importante que a veces maestros que son muy buenos también se les nombre y se les aprecie.
And I think it's important to name and appreciate those teachers.
Además de eso, también quiero resaltar aquí el nombre de una superintendente encargada de un área.
Also, I do want to highlight one of the superintendents who is in charge of one of the areas.
Ella también ha sido muy amable en contestar todas mis dudas y a mis preguntas que tengo.
She has always been able to answer my doubts and any other questions I have.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Granda.
Gracias, señora Granda.
Next four names in order are Christine Linsing, Calvin Mathis, Yvonne Fulton, and Anthony McIntyre. First up is Christine Linsing. And Ms. Linsing, your time will begin whenever you start speaking.
Good evening, everyone. I want to congratulate the new student board member, Mr. Hinojosa. As a former cadet colonel of the Bulldog Regiment, I see great things in your future. And if this kid isn't the regimental commander in 2 years, then you got a lot of talent in the regiment. So congratulations. I came here to speak on a certain topic, and I'm going to give a little bit of backstory. So I'm Waukegan born and raised. I come from a single mother household, and I went to Happy Day Nursery School. It's not here anymore, so if you know, you know. And it was a full day service. So my mother, as a single woman, could go to work, earn a paycheck, pick us up. We were safe all day, had a nutritious meal, go home, go about our evening, and put that on repeat. What I'm coming to talk about is our EPIC program, our pre-K learning, and the current decision to decrease the title of the positions that's needed from coordinator to manager. From a perspective of losing or potentially losing grant money or the program overall, I get the move. But it brings me very much frustration that the district has put ourselves in this position. When I enrolled my son in EPIC, I met the coordinator, and then all of a sudden she was gone. I didn't get notification. Us parents that are using this program were not notified. And then now I hear that we're decreasing the title. It brings me frustration because it gives this feeling that we are lowering our standards to keep the money. And that's not just with the EPIC program. Our kids, if you want to do them service, do them justice, you give them full day pre-K by the district. I sent my first two to St. Annie's because we could afford it. I sent my son to EPIC hoping that would help us pay the bills while getting him the education that he needs. But 2 hours a day is not enough. It's not. Are you aware that deadline of March 1st is coming up to possibly get funds to extend it to full day? If you are we ready? Can we do it? Do we meet the grant requirements? If you want kids to succeed, it's got to start early. From Ms. Placencia herself, she said she started with our elementary students. We need to start at pre-K and support them all the way through. If you're not here to do the work, let those who are on the board, and let's get it done.
Thank you, Ms. Linsing. Mr. Mathis.
Good evening. Calvin Mathis, Black Abolition Movement for the Mind. A couple of months ago, I requested data on bullying. It took a while. I did not know that the website had been updated. I just happened to reach out today, and it had been. I looked at the data, and if you follow the data, it's kind of conflicting. It appears to me that it's a tit for tat when you record. It's like somebody reports being bullied, then the person is cited and then it's a zero in the middle was not founded. It just seems like, okay, somebody slapped you upside the head. Yeah, you know, they had reason to do it. There's nothing here to see. It doesn't make sense, the data, but I know it takes a minute to compile the data. I didn't get all the data that I wanted. The person said that she forwarded that request to someone else who didn't contact me, and I'll tell you what the request was. I wanted to know what the demographics was, and because it's just data. This all came up, Mr. Ewing, when you were talking about a policy, a bullying policy, and I was saying, well, how are you going to do or construct a bullying policy, and you don't even have data? You're making assumptions. Because if you look at the data, you don't have a bullying policy, which I find that, you know, I'm going to be reasonable about this. Of course, people are fighting. And I made a statement about when I came up, you know, you had to fight. If somebody was bullying you, you got to fight back. That's my philosophy. I'm not saying it's right. You wouldn't want to put a guy like me on any bullying policy that you're making, because there's going to be a lot of fights. I'm just saying, because that's just where I'm from. You know, it seems kind of harsh, but in this environment, that's almost what you got to relay. I mean, but, you know, 'cause to me, that formula always worked. You know, you fight back and bully leaves you alone. And there was a school teacher not too long ago, a little bit after I talked about this, that got charged with beating up a student. That student was here. Now, we can throw the baby away with the bathwater and say he was just wrong and this and that, but I would really love to talk to him. You know, not that he was right, I'm not justifying what he was doing, but what caused this grown man to beat up a child like that? What is he mentally ill? I don't know. Did the kid say something? Because when I was, my day, that was just the norm of the day. You said something to an adult, yeah, you're going to get a black eye. And then you go home, you might get another one. So I came up in a different era though. These times are more violent. People don't fight anymore. They carry guns. So we have to take things into consideration. I take all that into play. Mr. Oscar, it was nice meeting you over there. I hope you're successful in your position about intervening and having we need to communicate. We need to find out what's going on to make a safe environment and make a better learning environment.
Thank you, Mr. Mathis. Ms. Fulton and then Mr. McIntyre. Whenever you start speaking, Ms. Fulton, your time will begin.
Good evening, President of the Board, Superintendent, board members, and community members. I just wanted to say really thank you to Joanna. You're bold, you're fierce, you're courageous, and I love you. Victor, boy, that speech, you my type of guy. I already love you. So I just want to say, don't ever let people silence your voice. Continue to be the authentic you are, okay? Don't let anybody silence your voice. So I'm just going to piggyback on what Brandon said today, that I want to invite the community out. We built a college and career center over at AOEC, and it's open to everyone. Anybody that want to bring their students over, anybody that wants to Google Meet their students into the site. You know, we're going to be trying to help every student we can with college and career. We're we had an open house today, but we will have an open house tomorrow from 10 to 1:30. You can come through, but we will have the ribbon cutting on Thursday from 5 to 7. We will cut the ribbon at 6 o'clock, just in case you need to know. Don't come at 5 if you don't want to stay that long. You want to see the ribbon cutting. So 6 o'clock, and I hope to see you all there. We are here to support the community, the students, and that's all I ever want to do in my career. That's all I want you to say, is that I supported this community that I was not from, but I still came here and supported it, and I want to support each and every one of you. Yes. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Fulton.
It's AOEC 1020 Glenrock Avenue.
Thank you. Final name is Mr. Anthony McIntyre. If you start speaking, your time will begin.
Congratulations to Adriana. You have been.
Joanna.
I am so sorry. I had to do that, see, because you tell me I never remember your name. So, congratulations to Joanna, and I am super proud of you. You are, and I mean this in the most kind way I can say it, you are an animal. You do not play, and you don't care if a person is male, female, young, or old. You're respectful, but you make your point. You keep that up, okay? Vic, I don't know you, but I'm sure we will get to know each other very soon. I hear great things about you, and I'm pretty certain that you're going to do great things in this position. You will enhance the position. Make the position, don't let it make you, right? I wanted to say, in reference to the the report that came out last week from Harrison Associates, Mr. Rick Harris and the people that were working along with him. That report was a damning report as far as I am concerned. It was very concerning. It shined a light in a way that I don't think this district has ever seen before. It was so clear. As far as I'm concerned, and if you go with, as of now, I have to look at my phone because it's been going off. If you look at the 13 staff members that have reached out to me to say that they have a concern about the way they were treated by this human resource department, they feel like they were bullied into making decisions that they made. They don't like it, and they question now, who do they go to? Because typically that's where you would go if you have a problem with, and you're a staff member. Now where do they go? They want to know. Some people pretty much look at me as the individual who just supports students. That is not true. Staff members are starting to realize that more and more. I'm not concerned with who you are. If there is something that you believe was done wrong and you have something to support it and back it up, I'm going to support you. I'm going to fight for you, and I'll do it every single day until I get tired. And I'm getting tired, y'all. Also, for those individuals who believe that the only thing that the Ant Mound Foundation does is speak on student-related issues, it is not true. We have everything from business that we discuss, that we try to work with youngsters on, gang-related matters. I have been deemed a gang expert by the legal community. So if I am able to help in any way moving forward,
Thank you,
please
Mr. McIntyre.
let me know. Thank you.
All right. We appreciate all those who came forward. There are individuals who are in the back of the room. If there was someone or somebody that spoke to something or an area that you're responsible for, I did not get an email address from any individuals that spoke, but I do want to reiterate that, and I do appreciate everybody that came up. We are now at our consent agenda. These items are done in order to expedite the work of the board. These items should be previously discussed and or non-controversial. Any board member can request that any items be held over for any reason. With that, now, are there any, just give me the letter, are there any board members that would like to vote on any of the letters separately?
Yes, wait, hold on.
Well,
under academics first.
we're at 10, consent agenda, academics right now. Yes, ma'am.
Just the academics.
If you have none.
Where is the conference?
That's
oh yeah. F under 10F.
Okay. Ms. Hannah would like to vote on F separately.
Yeah, and the reason I am Do we have a motion?
No, ma'am. I just want to
Okay.
know the letter so we can vote on them the way they need to. So if F is being voted on separately, are there any other items that we want voted on separately? If not, I'd like motion to approve items A, B, C, D, E, G, H.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Gonzalez. All in favor? Or sorry, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Miss Kellyanne Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride. Miss Gonzalez.
Yes.
Miss Hannah.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. I'm going to read those in for the record. 10A, reclassification of early childhood leader. B, approval of education system center partnership. C, upgrading Laserfish licenses, professional services. D, aspiring superintendent Latino Academy. E, attendance at did I pronounce that right? Yes. Preparte? I don't know.
Prepárate.
Something in Spanish. 2023 Educating Latinos for the Future of America Conference. G, WHS new course AP 3D Art. And HWH Spanish textbook adoption approval transitioning from.
Realidades to auténtico.
Thank you.
It's misspelled though, but yes.
We got it. All right. So we're now at F. So consent agenda for item 10F is 2023 Innovative School Summit addressing learning loss, cultural responsiveness, and supportive discipline. Do we have a motion to approve item 10F?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Yes, I have a comment.
Go ahead, Ms. Allen.
We have these professional development services at the Regional Office of Education, and I'm just wondering, instead of us expending the money for administrative travel out of state, has anyone contacted the Regional Office of Education, because I know for a fact that they are doing social emotional learning specifically, and that's like addressing the learning loss, the cultural responsiveness. All of that stuff, it's being done right here. And so we should not, if we have not exhausted our resources here in Lake County before we continue to send our administration out of state and for these professional development classes, whatever, this is, I don't know how come we're not using them. Dr. Karner, he told us that these professional development sessions are available to school districts. And so we need to start looking at that. Because, see, I understand that for a while, there's been just an overabundance of administrative travel, PD, all that. Whereas I'm the old person on the board, and it used to be the practice in the district was where the Board of Education was the one that went to conferences. And so I am asking that we use the resources for professional development that we have here before we start going out to other states and so forth for administrative professional development.
Thank you. Good evening, board. Thank you, Ms. Hannah. I appreciate your feedback. And just for our partnership with Row, we have partnered with Row. We actually have 6 professional developments that we will be able to offer during District Institute days, of which are around social emotional supports and can meet the needs of school improvement plans, really to differentiate for schools.
Are we able to close this door? I apologize. but I'm
And
hearing-
one important thing,
this one.
especially with Row and working with the superintendent of regional office, is that they are really putting together some wonderful professional development for all of our Lake County schools. So you're absolutely right, Ms. Hannah. And that is our intention. So we're excited about that. And one thing just to really share, just the leadership, I can only really speak for myself within my department, but really about developing our staff, because our staff feed and water and nurture our buildings, especially around MTSS. MTSS is like the work we do. It's this working verb. And for our one leader within MTSS of our district, this kind of nurtures that and the creativity that we put together in our own professional development plan for schools, in which we actually offer professional development sessions. So that's really what I'm asking, is that we feed and water our own staff and as we grow and lead, because we too add value to our schools and provide that. So that's what you're seeing on this agenda. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Are there any other questions or comments on the motion?
I can.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
No.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries.
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to bring, can we put that back down to the first consent? I would like to entertain a motion for a reconsideration of agenda item
The consent
10A.
The consent agenda.
Yeah, the consent. Okay, the consent agenda, and let me qualify, because I kind of was mixed up with the what was on the agenda, because I was looking for something else, but I am not in favor of the reclassification of the early childhood leaders. And I would like to re-vote on that to express my vote.
So we have a motion to reconsider the consent agenda. Do we have a second? I'll second it.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a motion to reconsider. We have a second. Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes. And now do we have a motion to approve items B, C, D, E, G, and H?
I make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Hannah.
Second.
Second by Ms. Gonzalez. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, for the record, that's 10B, approval of education systems approval of education systems center partnership. C, upgrading Laserfish licenses and professional services. D, aspiring superintendent Latino Academy. E, attendance at pre-parte 2023 Educating Latinos for the Future of America Conference. G, WHS new course AP 3D Art. And H, WH Spanish textbook adoption approval. Now we're going back up to item 10A, which is the reclassification of early childhood leader. Do we have a motion to approve?
Yes, Mr. Riddle.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Riddle.
I believe that this was the early childhood coordinator position was moved down to an early childhood manager position, so that we could find a person with extensive grant experience, is what we were told, so that they didn't need a type 75. Am I correct by that?
That was the rationale, is that it would expand the pool. What I do want to Go ahead, Ms. Rice-Dale Sanchez.
Yeah, it really is, as far as that goes, semantically, yes. I don't necessarily think that you need an administrative endorsement to run an effective grant and to have wonderful experience, and especially to reinforce what our community said about this full day piece. It really is a vision, I know, within our superintendent, and it's on our forefront to support our families for that. And so we're looking for someone really specifically that has a vision in that. And we have really big ideas, and so we're looking for that special person, and genuinely I feel that this will support that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And so the only thing that I want to add is I agree. It took a very long time for us to get full day kindergarten. We see the difference that it's made. I support wholeheartedly full day preschool. One of the things that we want to do is make sure that we have the facilities that support it. And I know that that is a big proponent of the governor, right? Early childhood education and literacy is an initiative, not of just District 60, but there will be funds. And so having somebody in this position, one that's identifying these grant dollars, being able to make sure that we are getting these grant dollars, and then that the grant is being applied effectively and efficiently, I think is in the best interest of our students. It's because if we want to address learning loss, it starts with a very robust early childhood investment, and that's going to take time, it's going to take resources, but it is what's needed. So I think what the board is looking for is just want to make sure that the quality of the program doesn't suffer with the reclassification. So while I support this decision, I will say is to underline what the community and others are expressing is they want to make sure that it doesn't diminish the quality of the program.
Yeah, and I really just want to say this. The downgrading or any verbiage that would, it's just really a shift, right? Okay. So, yeah, I don't think it's lower or downgrading, really. I really do not think that at all as a steward of the work. So I just wanted to share that it doesn't mean that it's lesser by any means, and anyone that would be qualified for this role that joins our team, I wouldn't want them to feel that way.
Well, I have.
Go ahead, Ms. Hannah. Final.
I would like to say that that if with these two positions, I am in opposition of changing the title because it's going to bring the manager type people to us, and it's you know, we've gone through the cycle of lowering titles and changing titles, and you kind of get what you ask for, so to speak. Okay, and in terms of the person getting the grant, the person at the EPIC Center, at the Robbie Lightfoot Center, the whole program, they don't have to worry about that because we have a magnificent grant writer that if it wasn't for her, we would not even have our pre-K grant back in District 60, and that there's no need for someone to try to go after the grant because that's no need. But what I'm saying is, our children deserve quality people that go before them, that are before them, teaching them and running our programs. Now, why would you downgrade? And that's what I call it. You downgrade a position from a coordinator to a manager when everyone in the district already knows what that means. So it may mean something to you all, but everyone in the district, staff members, they understand what that means. And so there we go again, dropping the morale again in the district. Brandon, and I'm sorry, sir, you don't have to qualify what I'm saying.
I don't have to qualify what you're
Please
saying.
don't.
As the Board of Education, I want to say that our managers are valued and do extremely difficult and hard work, and are some of those that are closest to the work. So I don't want the perception to be that there's this huge difference or better appreciation, or that our managers somehow are not qualified or capable. They do a really good job. There are many of them that are in this audience and watching online. And so again, I think it's been, we just had a study which talked about looking at what jobs need to be a coordinator level and what should be a manager's level. We even got 2 recommendations to change to three positions to manager positions because of that. Does the job actually require a type 75 or does it not? And that's really the qualification on if it's a manager or a coordinator. So it'll be up to the board to decide what happens with more of that. But again, our managers do very good work. We have people who are super dedicated and have been with the district for a very long time. So I just want to make that part clear. As we already talked about what the reason and rationale was for the request, and we had a very detailed conversation at our previous student achievement meeting. I'll give Ms. Wozniak the final comment, and then I want to take a roll call vote because the hour is already getting late. It's 8:47. Go ahead, Ms. Wozniak.
It's my understanding that we've had trouble finding a coordinator with the type 75, and that's why we're moving to the manager.
I wouldn't say trouble. Really looking for someone that has the experience when it comes to the spectrum. It's a dense role. And it really does require a vision and thinking ahead while also working within enrolling. It's multifaceted. And over the past year and really learning it in order to be the steward of it and to support the work, ultimately the administrative, it's me that has the administrative certification, right? The name that's on that's the steward of it. Ultimately, it's supporting professional development. It's supporting all of our 5 satellite schools. It's unifying them. It's having a vision. It's building a leadership team. It's making sure that we're spending our money within our narrative. It's working with our wonderful grant writer. I love working with her. It's multifaceted, and to find the right fit, that's really what it is. So I really do firmly believe that this will support and open it up. So.
And I do apologize. I think we've talked about it and debated it. Will this comment or question add to the conversation?
I just want to ask if Ms. Lila Sanchez, you were able to have that roll off your tongue real. Why wouldn't you run it?
Well, I do. I ultimately run all pre-K through 12. And each of us have our own designated discipline, whether it be literacy, math, social science, early childhood, it could be post-secondary. So we all really do have our niche within our department and the way the department's is really kind of set up. But please know, I do. And also someone else supports it. It is a partnership. It's a team in every definition of the team. As a matter of fact, we're part of your team. So we lead it and we support you all as a part of our team in it. So we're really actually a team. So I thank you for your support.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
No.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. It is 8:49. I had a board member that was very open and honest about, because this was something that the board talked about, is making sure that for the community and ourselves that we're able to get through the business of the board. And if we spend an hour on consent agendas, we will be here past 9 o'clock every week. So I have to make that very, very just public, because Again, any board member can request that any item be held over for the expediency of the meeting. If I know that beforehand via email, we can adjust the agenda to make sure that it runs a little bit smoother so that we can get through those things and have the conversations where they're needed to be had. We have the consent agenda for operations, which is 11. I already know that there was a request that was granted, and we will be holding over item E, approval of the human resources assessment proposal from People Company Consulting Group. So are there any other letters that any other board members would like held over or voted on? I'm not held over, I'm sorry. Are there any other items that any board members would like voted on separately? Seeing as there are none, we're going to take items 11A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L in consent. Do we have a motion to approve?
Mr.
So
Riddle,
moved.
so moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries, and I'm going to read those in for the record. 11A, approval of North Elementary furniture purchase revision. B, approval of calendar committee recommendations for 3-year calendar. Approval of property casualty insurance consulting renewal proposal. That was C. D, approval of resolution of reserve funds for project commitments and transfer funds from education fund to operations and maintenance fund to the capital projects fund. E, approval of we didn't do that. F, I'm sorry, approval of installation of refrigeration system and shelving for new food service bins. G, approval of Washington campus emergency tuck pointing. H, approval of Brookside fire alarm replacement. I, approval of professional service agreement for Maria de los Reyes. J, approval of Brookside campus holding tank replacement. K, safety iPass renewal. And L, approval to purchase lunch tables at Glen Flora Elementary School. We're now at item 12, which is purchases and contracts. 12A, CKLA, on-site school-based coaching.
It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the CKLA on-site school-based coaching for the purpose of deepening teacher knowledge on the foundations of the science of reading practices in the amounts of $38,400.
Mr. Riddle, I so move that we
Motion.
approve this as read by the
Second.
superintendent.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Hannah. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Just, I'm very happy to see this. I know the board has wanted this, and glad we're doing it.
Thanks.
And Miss Hannah has
Ms. Hannah?
championed it because it's about
Yes,
the
she
science
has.
of
Yes,
It's
it is.
about
Yes,
the
he has.
science of reading, and we're getting there, and I am so grateful that that this is coming forth. This will help our children to learn how to read, and I hope that it is going to be district-wide.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes, yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. We are now at personnel items. I'm going to take A separately, and then if we can do an omnibus for B, C, and D, but we'll do that when the time comes. So we got 13A personnel items for 1/24/23.
It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the administration's recommendation to approve the appointment and accept the retirements, resignations as found on schedules F994, with the exception of line 2, and L941, which includes a retirement extension request.
Got a motion and a second?
Did we do that? Is that the exception? that-
Right. Yep, she read it in the motion.
Okay, you read that in. I'll make a motion to approve that then.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Mhm.
Do we got a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. We do have an administrative appointment we'd like to recognize at this time.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Pamela Crowell, who previously served as the assistant principal at McCaw Elementary. She will now be serving as the assistant director of teaching and learning with a starting base salary of $100,000. Congratulations, Ms. Crowell.
Woo-hoo.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Crowell, and I see our principal and team from McCall, so we know that she was a great part of your team. Excited to support the work of the district with the great things that were also happening at McCall. All right, we are now at 13B, but unless any board members object, I'd like to take B, C, and D as a single action. Do we have a motion to approve all three?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Yeah, I am wondering, as I looked at these items, and particularly the salary adjustments. Now, we heard of in our closed session, we heard of recommendation, and I'm not at liberty to call the individual's name, but that name was laid out to the Board of Education. And I want to know, why are we not including that individual in this salary adjustment? Because I know that soon that I'm not even sure if it's going to cost us more money when and if another study is done to include our directors and our managers. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't come soon, it's going to cost the district a little bit more money for that particular person. And so I just want to know how come that individual was not included.
It's been a long time since we had that meeting, and I'm guessing, I'm not going to guess on who the individual. What I can tell the board right now, that the actions that are being voted now on are the exact actions that were in the report that we received, that we looked at during closed session, and this will only impact coordinators, principals, and assistant principals.
So to your point, Ms. Hannah, it doesn't address individuals at the manager level. It doesn't address individuals at the director level. So for those individuals, or if there's something that you like to bring back separately, we can talk about that. But that is why this action does not include those. It's because these are only, as the superintendent stated, coordinators and
Assistant principals and principals.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Right.
I would also state that I would caution us to getting into one employee. I think you said
Right.
one, Ms. Hannah. If we do another salary study, it should include the entire group.
Well, I hope that we are planning to do another study. You know,
You made the
for-
recommendation,
Noted,
and I
Ms.
think
Hannah.
you would have board support for that. But right now, what we do ask is that we have a motion to approve items B, C, and D. Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. B, approval to accept Morgan HR's recommended salary structure. C, approval to accept Morgan HR's salary adjustment recommendations. D, approval to accept Morgan HR's administrative title reclassifications. We are now at financial reports, and we have do we want to take items A and B together? Are there any questions or concerns or reasons to vote on those separately?
I don't care about taking them together, but I just want to know, could
Well, if you
could
don't
someone
mind, let's
in-
motion in a second, and then you can ask the question.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah.
I'll
And then
second.
We got a motion from Ms. Hannah, a second from Mr. Riddle. I'm going to ask the superintendent, as we didn't do it the last time, but I want to make sure that we are following our proper protocol. You can read the recommended actions for both items A and B.
It is recommended that the administration, it is the recommendation of the administration and Board of Education ratify the second processing board bills for January 2023 and manual check request payments and Old National Bank insurance payment for the period of January 4, 2023 through January 17, 2023. The accounts payable board January 4, 2023 through January 17, 2023 payments total $3,059,294.22. The manual check request payments for the period of January 4th, 2023 through January 17, 2023 total $1,527,385.62. The Old National Bank insurance payments for the period of January 4th, 2023 through January 17, 2023 total $1,052,991.88.
Also read B.
This one? It's the recommendation. It is the recommendation as the issuer of the outstanding tax exempt and tax advantage bonds, WPS 60, must monitor and comply with the number of post
Apologize.
issuance.
It's listed for information.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
we'll
thought.
just take items A. We don't need B, or there's not a vote that's needed for B. Yeah.
We have to accept.
So we have to.
report.
We have to.
Accept that report.
Yeah, so I guess just withdraw the motions and we'll just approve item, or motion to approve item A as read.
I withdraw my motion for agenda item 16A and B.
Do we have, do you withdraw your second?
Yeah.
Ms. Wozniak, thank you. Motion
And
to
I
approve
will-
item 16A.
I make a motion that we approve item 16A.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. We've already read the recommended action, which is there. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride. Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. We have committee, are there any committee reports at this time?
I got a quick one from the Wellness Committee. We finally had our first meeting on the 19th. Anyway, Mr. Riddle, you missed it, and I am supposed to relate to you about the Rachel Challenge, that they did some extensive studying and contacting another school, couple schools that had attempted to do Rachel Challenge, and that they did not get a favorable result out of those schools,
Okay.
and because of the number of students, and we could talk about this
Okay,
among
we can talk about
ourselves,
that later.
okay? But right now they want to. The Wellness Committee wants to revisit it
Okay.
at another time.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah.
Okay, that's the first one. And then we are also looking at our the issues in the schools regarding the vaping and it unfortunately they're finding that the vaping is going down into the elementary schools, and that's sad. But we have a plan, and we will be bringing that forth soon. We're looking at a health fair during the summer. I'm just trying to do, and we're going to be coming out with a position statement from the Wellness Committee, and we're going to be revisiting the policy through equity regarding the snacks, okay? Because we had a lot of parent dissatisfaction with the policy and, well, the practices that were going on in the schools. And we're looking at working out some different guidelines to go with the policy. And it's going to be based on like cultural and equity. Okay, but yeah, but anyway, that those developments will be forthcoming, and we'll probably be continuing our discussions at our next committee meeting on February 16th.
Thank you for that, Ms. Hannah.
Thank you.
Any other committee reports? If not,
Policies.
Huh?
I'm like policies.
Yeah, policies. Now we got delegates report. Ms. Hannah, is there one?
No, there's a legislative breakfast for the Lakes Division. It is on a Saturday. I don't know if any of us are interested in that.
I'm signed up.
You're signed up?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I want to go.
Okay, well then we need to make sure
Get together.
Mr. President knows about this so he could.
Yeah, we got our secretary. So if you guys,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, and so there's also there was a request to attend the conference, but it was the wrong conference, Mr. President. It was the
NASB.
And we now are in the consortium with the COSSBA.
You can do NASB if you want. They extended
Really?
it. Yeah, we are members of
both.
No, we're members of
COSO.
Cube, and as a member of Cube, we are eligible for attendance at the NASB meeting. We can talk about that offline, though.
Okay, we'll talk about that offline, and then I'll let you know, because I said that because I think that they're both dated.
Oh, they doing that.
Yeah, they're dated around the same exact time.
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, choose which one, but you
Right.
can go to either one, even though Illinois is not participating, because we are members of Cube.
Right.
Our Cube membership also will allow us to attend NSBA.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
we'll talk about that offline then.
And then we have item 17C is just a brief superintendent's report.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd just like to look at, go ahead, next one. At up-to-date attendance for our elementary schools. As we can see, majority of them are over 90%, with the exception of Lyon and Lightfoot. Now here's our middle schools, including our high schools, the Brookside and the AOEC campus. I'm going to ask Ms. Patty to look into what's going on at AOEC and both high schools. So overall, the whole high school, it's 84.997. I also wanted to take a look at suspensions to date. There was a request by one of our board members to look at suspensions. You're going to get a high overview right now, just because I didn't want to leave that out there too long. And we were onboarding Mr. Dupois. Did I say it right? Dupuis. Thought I had it that time. We're just onboarding him. And so what you will be seeing at our next student achievement meeting is the infractions and discipline, but I also want my team to take a deeper look and to look at the crime or the violence in our community and how that is impacting what is going on in our schools. So that is going to be a really big report. We've had a number of shootings in the community. And we want to look at the gang activity and see how that's impacting some of the discipline issues that we're seeing. So we can go into the next slide. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's teacher attendance. I thought I didn't have my glasses on. I just seen attendance. Kudos to our staff. I want to call out Glenwood. That's at 96%, along with North. And here we see our middle school attendance. Kudos to the high school team, our teachers. I'm looking at the overall high school along with our middle schools. Great job, Jack Benny. at 96%. So here's suspensions at our elementary, middle school, and high school.
ISS and school suspension.
And school
OSS,
suspensions.
out of school suspension.
Thank you, Board President. I do want our Dr. Cesario look into Clearview, what's going on with 12 out of school suspensions. Not saying we shouldn't have them, but just that elementary, the number is pretty alarming. Keep going. And here is suspensions, in-school suspensions and out-of-school suspensions by grade level. So 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade for the month of January.
And what I want to say, just for clarity, to date, I think got misinterpreted as we wanted to see the school year. So when we're looking at that January data, just so the community and the board knows, superintendent's going to do a deep dive next week, but this was just looking at January suspension data. So beginning of, after school, the students returned from holiday break.
Yes, that is only January data. At the next student achievement meeting, we will be looking from year to date. So for the overall year up to this point, along with the variables of the community violence and stuff that we're seeing trickle over into our schools. So Oscar's working on that.
And can I ask for something else? Like does this data, is it aggregate data? Like, can we see it if one single student has had an out of school suspension and an in school suspension?
Yeah, we can look at it to see if it's multiple. So yeah, there is a way to look at that data like that too. And we have previously looked at it like that, but we can
that way we can target
run the data in that form. Yes. So if there's any other specific ways the boards would like to see that data, just please send me an email and we'll make sure that it's in our presentation.
Okay, and demographics too, Superintendent. I agree with you because our numbers could be higher, but it could be maybe one or two students with you know, that been suspended twice or
and we
three, you know.
Because we heard a number tonight, there was a teacher that said 400. So we want to kind of pressure test that to know if that's an accurate number. Because if it is, then it means that we would be able to provide intensive supports. If it's lower than that, if it's higher than that, we have to draw attention to it and clarity too. We're not working on a bullying policy. My policy was in relation to, or the policy adjustment I had was about zero tolerance. And that whole conversation has been hijacked, in my opinion. And so we will talk about that one. I know Ms. Anna, but go ahead. I want to hear your comment.
The state, we're supposed to have.
We have a bullying policy, right? That people, for years, you were on the bullying committee and others, right, that did that work. So we have a bullying policy. What we want to do is the reporting. We want to make sure that is accurate. And when we talk about board president, words that I'm attributed to saying, it wasn't looking at a bullying policy. It was in relation to a zero policy as it related to student on staff violence or staff on student violence, right? And that committee has been created, and they're trying to figure out
I'd like
dates.
to be on some of the committees, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's not board member time yet, okay.
So we got information items. So the information items are listed there. There are policies there. These are all first readings. What that means is if we get no responses or questions, we're going to bring them back for second reading to be voted on. So as you review, if you think of any questions, please let me know the policy number and then send those questions to myself and Ms. Vanderbroek. And so that way we can decide if we need to discuss them further as a board or if they're ready for board action at our first meeting in February. It is now 9:14 and I appreciate my board member for sticking with us. So I'm going to jump down to board member time. And with that, we'll start with you, Ms. Anna, because I know you said you had something to add.
Okay, first off, I want to give kudos to Dan Hill and the others that hosted a breakfast for the African American boys at Washington campus. I only heard about it, but they had a number of mentor speakers there, and I think that something like this should be duplicated, particularly at Brookside campus, if this is going to, kind of gather those students that are needing a little extra push, a little extra support. I think that this is something that should be being done. Now, I may be, and I am just simply, I'm talking off of what I was told. So if anybody out there knows the accurate information, or if I said something that was incorrect, please correct me, okay? And then I was going to say, tonight, all the board members were wearing their shirts that cook. So can we stand up, those of us that got them on?
Well, I didn't have mine on right now.
You can just hold it up.
Hold it up.
Here, I got it right here.
Yeah, anyway, look, we want to just do a shout out to
All right, Cook.
to Cook
Absolutely.
and the students and the staff. And I know I looked up my word, and it means kind and love and sharing. And I love that that the kids are learning these concepts and stuff early. So I just wanted to say that, and I'm glad that that the Board of Education can support that, and any other school that does that. Look, you guys, let us know. We'll do it for you too. And I want to just say happy birthday, Miss Joanna. And I want to welcome Victor to as the new student board member. Looking forward to you following all the others, okay, and doing what they did, because they were all phenomenal, okay. And Joanna, I want to say that the memory walk at Washington. Oh, this is wonderful. We need to talk about that, Board of Education. And one thing, I really need superintendent. Okay, I missed, for the past last year, I have been missing things because I have not been getting notification of it, okay? Like Miss Callahan say, oh, it was on Facebook. I don't get on Facebook like that. But when there's something going on in the school district, I would really appreciate getting a notification through my on my iPad, okay, or something, because I don't like missing the events that students put on. The spaghetti event for JROTC, I've been going to it for years. I did not know it was even happening. So, if we could please get notification of the events that are going on throughout the district, I'd appreciate it. I mean, I've been here for 27 years, and this is the first year that I have been missing things, and it's all because I have not been getting notification.
Mr. Alajakis, can you just add a link to the calendar to your weekly things, and that way all the board members can be made aware of what's happening at which schools and attend at their leisure? Because we do, Ms. Hannah, we get sometimes, like you say, tons of things going on. Some schools reach out individually, some don't, and so it's hard to keep track of what's going on. So if we,
but we used
send
to
that link
always
with
get
attendance data, we
yeah, we always got that. And JLTC, I have to apologize for not being there.
I should have emailed you all individual. I'm not even lying. S.R. Johnson here told me to.
Don't be shy.
Thank you.
Miss Wozniak.
Just to remind everybody about the foundation scholarships, it's open today, and apply, and have your seniors apply. I also want to remind everybody about Thursday for the AOEC ribbon cutting from 5 to 7. And then, I don't know if you all know, but on Saturday, the 28th, is the grand opening of CLC downtown from 11 till 3. Everybody's invited. Please attend. And then on Monday, and this is to piggyback off Yashin Phillips' stuff, January 30th, from 6 to 7:30 is a vigil for Human Trafficking Awareness Month at the Waukegan Public Library, put on by the State's Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Ms. Wozniak. Mr. McBride.
Will you text me that?
To you too, student board members, welcome on board.
Because you would
You're gonna miss me, but I'm sure you're going to continue to mentor
I'll just write
the
them down.
lawyer over there.
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. McBride. Mr. Riddle.
Yes, I think I'm going to pass. It's getting late. I know we want to get out of here. Thank you all for coming, hanging with us. Congratulations, and we are going to miss you, Joanna. Yeah.
So she's not gone yet. She's still around.
One other thing. Brandon made reference to there was a board member said that they're not going to stay until 9 o'clock. And I am that board member.
See, I didn't out you, Mr. McBride. I said I'm
I believe if you can't conduct business and get things done in 3 hours, something is wrong.
Thank you. Ms. Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'll take Mr. Riddle's time, but I'll try to be short. I just wanted to give a shout out to Joanna, as people have been doing, but also to congratulate her cheerleading team. I went to go see y'all in Zion, and I heard that you said you scored higher than Zion, right?
Yeah,
okay.
all right.
So love that for you guys. Y'all look so cute, and where I will be this week at AOEC. I want to see y'all at the College and Career Center. Mr. Ewing and I will be talking to some Waukegan College students that same Thursday too. And I'll be at the CLC grand opening. I'm super excited for that building. On Sunday, I'll be seeing a show at the Genesee Theater. And I just wanted to give a little encouragement to you guys or whatever student kind of is chiming in. And if you're wanting to do the Waukegan Strong Scholarship or really any scholarship, I encourage y'all to you don't have to do anything grandiose with your essays, but just tell us more about yourself. What excites you, your family, whatever gives you passion, why you like being from Waukegan, because a lot of times students don't really elaborate on why they want to be a part of either our community collaborations or what their service is about. And the more that you say, the better chance you'll get at being recognized. And that could be as small as helping, mom, dad out, or whoever your guardian is at home with watching the kids or watching your cousins, having a job, or doing something else, as a part of an organization. So I encourage everyone to really apply. Just throw your shot out there, and that's it.
Awesome. I had the great opportunity last week. I did a lot of driving, so I was down in Springfield on Monday and Wednesday with our legislators. Super excited. I say that I'm not. What I will say is when I got on the board, the state of Illinois owed us money. Is that right, Ms. Polk? A lot of money. More than that. Like you say, 40 million, and we were 19 days. I remember we could operate for 19 days. And so it was really scary, and that's a drastic difference than what we have in Springfield now. with our legislators and our governor, who, when I mentioned I was Waukegan School Board President, he was able to very specifically and succinctly talk about issues that were impacting Waukegan and education. So I was super excited to participate. We saw State Rep Rita Mayfield and State Senator Adria Johnson sworn in again, who've been tremendous partners. We had, I don't know if you want to call her, what was it, den mother, Miss Fulton, who was making sure that there was a very good Lake County contingent, and she represented very, very well. So super excited to participate in that. Martin Luther King Day, I had the privilege, along with many others, to visit McCall at the invitation of McCall School and United Way. For Martin Luther King reading. They put me in a bilingual classroom, which was amazing, but I had a translator, and it was very, very fun. We have tons of things going on this week that have been discussed. I heard the superintendent, and she's right, is that what happens in the community influences the schools. I also say what happens in the school influences the community.
Yeah.
And so as we look at violence and the increase that we see, I want to make sure that we're also providing supports. I've said it before, is that suspension, I get it. And you have to make sure that in addition to suspensions that you're addressing the behavior, is because if I curse you out on Monday, you put me out for 3 days, I'm gonna come back and curse you out again on Thursday if there's been nothing in between that process to disrupt or change mindsets of behavior. And as quiet as it's kept, our students are dealing with tons of issues, as Mr. McBride reminds us, some also dealing with substance abuse. So there's been a growing issues that were exacerbated, that existed before the pandemic, that were exacerbated by the pandemic, and we have to make sure that we are being responsive to the needs of our students. So I appreciate you all for coming out. There are no legal reports. Oh, I do apologize. Ms. Hannah passed it to me. We talk about COC and the amazing grand opening this Saturday. I asked if they wanted to use the parking lot. They said they didn't need it. So, but we are a partner and a neighbor. So super excited for them. But we did unfortunately lose Johan Cotton Wilson, who's been a staple at the College of Lake County and in the Lake County community for, ever. So it's a big loss. And her memorial service will be on Monday, January 30th from 10:30. Or starting at 10:30 at First Corinthian Missionary Baptist Church in North Chicago. So from the Board of Education to the Cotton family, we send our condolences, and to those that can make it, the family is encouraging and inviting all to attend. So sorry for their loss. I feel like I've been saying that a lot. She was a staple in the community, and she will be missed.
Absolutely.
With that, I would like a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak, second by, I think that was Mr. I'm going to give it to Mr. McBride. All in favor signify with aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Meeting is adjourned.